since I'm kicking it off, I am 100% a hoarder. I have big problems letting things go because everything is sentimental to me. I am 100% a purger to the point where if it sits on my counter for more than like an hour, I will throw it out.
Yeah, I think I'm somewhere in between. I agree. I think I'm converting to the Dipu side, but I'm definitely still part of Team Sheena. Hey guys, welcome to the Love S&D podcast. I am Dipti, your host as always, and we have Sheena, the eldest, Nina,
Hi.
the middle. Say hi, ladies.
Hi.
All right, we are talking about something very, very meaningful to Nina. All of us, but mostly, okay, all of us because Nina makes us do it.
Yes.
We are talking about the art of purging. Neen, take it away. All right. Well, first of all, Sheen has some thoughts on this, right? So, Sheen, you want to
Actually,
start?
I want to start off with a question. Are you a hoarder or are you a purger? That's really what I want to know. All of you guys, let us know in the comments. Are you a hoarder or are you a purger? Because we are also very different in that way. And so is our mother. And actually, so are a lot of our relatives, like Kokimasi. There's just so much generational thought on this. So that's what we're going to literally dig into today. But since I'm kicking it off, I am 100% a hoarder. I have big problems letting things go because everything is sentimental to me, whether it be a bachelorette t-shirt to a bottle of beautiful wine that I just can't let the bottle go because it's such a pretty bottle. Like, just, I can't get there. And I think our mother and Kokimasi are very similar that way. And Dipti is the polar opposite, and Nina's somewhere in the middle. And that has also evolved, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Because I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum, I'll go next. I am 100% a purger to the point where if it sits on my counter for more than like an hour, I will throw it out. And I've gotten in deep waters because of this, because I'll throw out things that such definitely still needs. And I'm like, oh, my bad, threw it out. And he knows this about me. And my kids know this about me, which is why they put their stuff away real quick, because they know even if Zuri's looking for something, the first thing she'll say is, Mommy, did you put it in the trash? Like, yes, in fact, I did. Yeah, I think I'm somewhere in between. I agree. I think I'm converting to the Dipu side, but I'm definitely still part of Team Sheena. But something I learned while we were in Japan is that there's a reason that the older generation hoarded. So in those times, they were coming to these countries or wherever they were establishing their roots, and everything that they bought or acquired was through really hard work, making a trip somewhere to go get something and then bringing it home. And so not only was it sentimental value, but it actually was a part of what they worked really, really hard for. Our generation is like the generation of Amazon Prime, which things come and go within 2 hours or 2 days. And there's no like value to things anymore because you can replace them so easily, right? So you think about like these Corningware sets that all of our moms, everybody included, like anyone listening, all of them have like sets on sets of Corningware dishes and Pyrex. I don't know what it is about Pyrex bowls, but every grandma has an attic full of these Pyrex bowls ready to go brand new. And I think in that generation, they worked really hard. They saved up and then they bought these boxes that were not inexpensive for that time. And so it became, if I ever were to break one bowl of my set, I will still have something as a backup.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't so easily attainable. Nowadays, you break something, you go on Amazon or Walmart and just buy a replacement. And it's kind of like, there's no value to things as it was back then. So I get the whole art of hoarding. 100% sometimes it goes too far. But I think that you don't really need a lot of stuff.
No.
Right?
I feel like we talk about mental health too, right? A lot of my own mental health comes from getting rid of stuff, decluttering, cleaning out drawers or counters or, you know, just corners of spaces that start accumulating toys or just workout stuff. There's all sorts of corners in my house that have things in it. But once that corner is empty, it just feels good. I feel accomplished. I feel cleaner. There's something about just that mental cleanse that you get when you just clean up and get rid of stuff. We got rid of 90% of the kids' toys over winter break, and they were involved in the process and everything. It wasn't even like I did it secretly.
Like I still have to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But even to them, they were like, oh man, we have so much more space and we don't even need this whole area for toys. We can play here now. It feels good.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree. I mean, I think also the thing with the hoarding is the more space, the more stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like when we went from a smaller house to a bigger stuff, I'm like, oh, I have all these cabinets. Now I need to fill all of them with stuff. And granted, a lot of stuff came from mom's house. She's like, well, I have all these pots. Here, take them. Put them in your cabinet. There are pots that mom gave me that I have never even pulled out, let alone use. And recently, mom, she is, when people come from India and they don't have anything, she likes to set up their homes for them with vasan and utensils and dishes and plates and cutlery and all of that. So the last family she was helping set up, just gifting things to, she asked me to clean out some of my pots and pans. And when I tell you I came out with boxes and boxes, even I was like, I don't know why I need 3 pressure cookers and an Instant Pot. I was like, what am I doing? So I literally gave her all the pressure cookers and kept my Instant Pot. I'm like, I don't even think I'll use a regular pressure cooker ever again. I had like thalis and plates and watkis.
Yeah.
I probably had like 15 valens. I used one. I used one of them all the time, every single time without fail. And I had 15 of them. I'm like, please, just please, for God's sake, just please. But it felt good to be like, here, take it. At least somebody will use it. You know those like black pot things that we fry in? I mean, what are they called? I don't even know. I had 5. I don't even fry in my house. I had 5. But I think it's like little realizations like that. Even with the clothes. Recently, I purged my closet with Nina. And how many gigantic garbage bags did we take out? And I don't even think it made a dent. It's just easy to keep piling on top, on top, without going back and looking.
I've been like this so much that when you guys come to my house, you're like, well, why don't you have a can of chickpeas? Because I'm not eating chickpeas this week. Why don't you have this enormous pot that we can cook all 17 of our meal in? Because I don't cook that much food. I feel like on certain levels, I don't have some basic necessities because I just don't use them for my little family of 4. So that when all of you come over
and a family of 5.
Yeah,
I did. What did I say?
Family of 4. That's because Zuri belongs to me, so really doesn't even.
That's so funny that I said
family of 4.
But when like I don't use these things as a family of 5, I have small pots, and also my kids don't eat as much as China's kids do. So when those kids do come, I have nothing to cook these meals in because they eat 5 times more than our entire family.
In Japan, there's a concept of ma, which is M-A, and it's that empty space which allows for creativity. So in Japan, they'll have a whole empty room, no seating, nothing, just cushions that they then put away. And it's like, well, why don't they furnish that room? It's because then when people come into the room, their thoughts are not already being molded by what's in that room. That's a really cool way to think about empty space, because every time anybody moves into a home, it's like, furnish. We have to make it look good. We need to make it like presentable. We need people to be like wowed by our spaces.
Yeah.
But then you think about like the alternative to that, which is it's okay to have emptiness around even the furnished spaces. You don't have to like hack it all in, you know?
Yeah. Which is so funny, Neen, because before Japan, if you go into your house, every inch of your house is covered in something. The
like
walls
furnished.
are covered. The floors are covered. There's furniture everywhere. And you especially love furnishing and decoration and things like that. So it's funny that now you're going into an empty room and thinking, oh, this is actually just as great.
Well, actually, what was crazy was while we were still away, I started selling furniture. So like literally when we came home, we had all this empty space. And I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But then, I sold my coffee table and then I spilled coffee all over the sofa. So we need to get a coffee table.
Dip. I don't know if you read this, but Nina sent an interesting thing today, actually, on Instagram to us. And I'm going to read it really quickly because I thought, do you remember? It was good. It said, Feng Shui is real. Delete apps, rearrange some furniture, give some clothes away, delete numbers, make your phone display neater, organize your seasonings, organize your clothes, organize your life so you can think clearer. So even when we talked about previously in a different episode, we talked about mental health. I think just purging things actually purges thoughts and clears your mind as well.
Yeah.
That's a form of taking care of yourself. Well, I told you guys this. I have this T-shirt from a Salman Khan concert when I was like, I don't even know, 10, 11. I can't let it go for the life of me. It's this raggedy T-shirt and it's just a Salman Khan picture, like the villain. I said, like, it could be cracking. And I'm like, I can't let it go. And it's just like, I don't know how to replace. I'm just like, I want to hold on to these things that I feel are sentimental, but there is some benefit in letting it go and moving it on. I just can't get to that mind space. So I'm thinking if I follow in your two footsteps, I might get there at some point.
But I think that if that T-shirt brings back all that joy and happiness when you look at it, frame it and put it in your office.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't it be a part of what
Yeah.
you celebrate in terms of your past? Keep that one thing and let go of another 10 things. It's
Yeah.
fine.
And I also think it's easier to tell someone to do it than to do it yourself. For me, at least, for the jewelry thing. Remember when we were reinventing Nina Jewelers as far as its online era? One of the things that we're doing now is purging people's old jewelry and reinventing it and recreating it into new things that they can actually use and wear. And so it's funny because I can tell people to do that all day, but then when I have to do it, I'm like, I can't let go of this bangle. Like, I love it so much.
There's also something to be said about the way you set yourself up. You went from a smaller house to a bigger house and a bigger closet, and you didn't necessarily need that big closet, right? That was something that you chose to do. And then now you feel the need to have to populate that closet. The same thing with us. We got to build our kitchen from scratch. And when we were thinking about it, we decided not to do upper cabinets because in my mind, I was like, if I have upper cabinets, I'm going to have to put things in those upper cabinets. I have everything I need in my kitchen and we only have lower cabinets and it's not that big of a kitchen. So there's maybe like 10 cupboards that we put stuff in and it's enough. Also setting yourself up. If you buy this enormous house and then you feel the need to have to populate that house, you're just collecting more stuff that more times than not is not meaningful, right? In Nina's house, it's so beautiful because everything is meaningful to her. Every space was created with intention and
purpose.
And with purpose, exactly. Even for me, we have this whole sunroom and it's empty. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave it that way because we don't know what we want to do with it. The kids play in it. There's an exercise machine in there. We'll figure it out as time goes by, but we don't feel the need to have to keep putting stuff into the house.
Yeah. And I think even with houses, it becomes a rat race. You want this beautiful, perfectly model home with a lot of like, look behind me. Tchotchkes. But it's all just things that need to be dusted and cleaned all day long. And really just, I don't actually need them. They just look beautiful. With that, though, I do like looking at it, looking beautiful.
So let's talk a little bit about the guilt behind letting things go, because I feel like that's a huge part of this, right? Like somebody gave this to me, or this is from when the baby was born, or whatever. Mom told me I can't ever give it away. Whatever it is, always comes back to mom. But whatever it is, there's this immense guilt of letting things go. So how are you both rewriting some of that narrative, even if in some of the stuff I know that you end up keeping because either you don't want to get yelled at or whatever that part of it is? How are you rewriting those narratives in your head to make it okay to say, the time is done with this, it's okay to let it go?
I don't have a lot of guilt when it comes to letting things go. I actually feel guilty for throwing things away that I probably should have kept. But I do have a lot of guilt when it comes to mom envisioned this kitchen for me, and all the bottles have to be full of mug and chana and this and that and the other thing, and they have to be perfect looking and things like that. And yeah, I love that about mom's kitchen, and it's so beautiful and it's super functional for her. But if you asked the last time I made sabudana ni khichdi, never. But I have it. I have a whole bottle full of it, but it's just not something I use. But I'll never get rid of it. And mom will come here once every 6 months and she'll rotate it out. So she'll be like, I'll take yours, you take a new version, and it'll sit there for 6 months and then she'll take it. But I think it's that guilt of one day if mom comes here and she sees that my kitchen is exactly the way her kitchen is and she has this full heart because she saw that, that's enough for me. And I'm not rewriting that. That's going to stay the way it is. Unfortunately, everything else in my house can go.
The guilt, I don't know if it's guilt for me. It's more of, what if I need to, like, 3 pressure cookers, I need them all at one time and I only have one in that moment? Or what if,
you will never have that problem.
I know. What if all the girls come over and they want to roll puris and I only have one villain and I don't have like 15 for all?
Again, Shin, you don't make booties. It won't be your problem.
What if one day when I'm 50 and I have this epiphany and I want to start wearing low-rise jeans and I've just given all of them away? It's just the what ifs for me. Like, what? What if?
Bippo and I will sponsor those jeans for you.
Oh my God, I will disown you real quick. I know who she is.
I don't, it's more of a what if for me. Like, what if one day I need it? In my mind, I know that I can just go ahead and buy new jeans or buy new villains or buy new pressure cooker. And then there are the things like the things that I mentioned before that mom has given us, like her vatkis and her thalis. And they actually truly have like her initials at the bottom. So those things those are non-negotiable. They will stay in that drawer till the day I die or give it to my children. If I move into a smaller house, it's all coming with me. It will go in storage, but it will stay with me.
Do you have guilt, Neen? Do you have guilt of letting stuff go?
Before our trip, I did. It was a lot of Sheen, like, oh, one day this is going to come back into style and I'm going to have it and I'm going to wear it. But for that one time, now I realize it's not worth it. I'll just wear something else. But when we visited the ashrams in India, we saw the little children in Vietnam and Cambodia, you realize that stuff that you've not touched or used in eons, they would take with like hearts exploding with joy. And so that has given all of us a lot of perspective. Even the girls were able to trim down their closets because, let's be real, they wear the same 5 outfits all day long. So it gave all of us a lot of perspective.
That's a huge thing for us. And I feel like for mom too, right? If there is somebody out in the world who can use something that you haven't touched in the last year, and that's my benchmark. If I haven't touched something in my closet for a year, then off it goes. But even for mom, like Sheena said earlier, if there's something in her kitchen and she hasn't used it and there's a family here that has nothing, they're literally coming to the country with nothing, why not give it to them, right?
She's happy to do that.
She's so happy
to do that.
She will gives her own stuff away.
Yeah.
And then asks us if we have a backup.
Yeah.
Literally that happened. She gave her own pressure cooker away and then asked me if I had a pressure cooker she could borrow. I'm like, wait, what? But yeah, I mean, also she's an incredible person, but she will collect things and we'll get mad at her for collecting bottles and little dubbies and things like that. But eventually in her mind, she is collecting those like as a set of 8 or a set of 12 or a set of this so that she can eventually give it to somebody else. So we think that she's hoarding, but really in her mind, it's all being repurposed.
I think like Kokimasi was like that too, right? Like with different things, but she was like that too. She was definitely a hoarder, like me and mom. But with a little bit of intention and a little bit of purpose. They're a little different than me. I just like it because it's so cute and I never want to let it go. And then later realize it's been 15 years and I've never touched it. This is why I couldn't do my closet until Nina came over and actually made me do it. I just stared at it and I'm like, okay, this is a lot. I get overwhelmed like that too, which I think you were able to compartmentalize. And Dipti was like, I want nothing to do with this.
But I think that that's the first step, is to pick up something really small. Remember, like you started with your makeup drawer.
Yeah.
And I was like, put aside anything you use on the daily. Just don't even look at it. Just throw it all out, because you probably haven't touched it. It's probably all really, really, really expired. And, you probably don't need to be using it. And then you felt really good about that. Then you did your hairbrushes and all of that stuff. And so these little changes created all this space. And you're like, I want more of this. It's like a weird kind of high of, wow, I've accomplished something that's making me feel better.
Yeah.
And it's giving back to somebody else when it's stuff that can be passed forward. So.
And
Yeah,
you
for sure.
actually mentioned the guilt. I think another guilt I have is how much money I spent on it and then throwing it out. Remember I was telling you I had this skincare line that I bought,
La Mer?
La Mer or something, and I spent so much money on it, and I bought it and I put it there and I never used it because we're really not skincare people. And then obviously in time I just forgot it was there, and then it got old and then I threw it out. But the guilt of spending so much money on it, that's why I didn't want to throw it out. I'm like, I spent so much money on it, I'm going to use it one day, I'm going to use it one day. And then that one day never came. So I think that's another guilt of spending all that money. But these purges remind me to not do that. Like, okay, Sheen, do not buy any skincare. That is not who you are. You're going to use oil of Olay till the day you die. So just let it go. Like, let it go. Because everybody's like, use this, use that, use this. And we bought it all, and the intention was to try it all. And that literally never happened.
You have the mentality where you need to get your hands on things that are limited edition. We talked about this, right? You were able to snag those Barbies. I don't even know what they are.
Bro,
Some Indian
those
Barbie.
were great snags, okay?
100%. They were great. All the limited edition stuff is great, but for what purpose?
It was
like,
the gift
why
for
would
the
you have
girl.
so many Lulu crossbody thieves?
I know.
She was like, I only got this one because we were in Hawaii and it was a limited edition in Hawaii. But why? It's neon green. Who is wearing that?
I know. I think I have these trigger words like limited edition, low inventory, only for sale 24 hours. I need to recognize them and be like, nope, I don't need them. I don't need it. I don't need it.
Stop doing that.
But when I do these purges, like when I purge the closet or the makeup, I haven't bought any clothes or any makeup or skincare, anything since then. Granted, it's only been 2 weeks, but still, that's a long time for
All right, guys, let's wrap up.
Yeah, so I'm a hoarder, but I would love to be a purger.
I am a purger that needs to stop getting rid of important things.
Yeah.
I'm somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Working on it.
But we would love to hear your guys' perspective. Are you guys hoarders? Are you purgers? Are you somewhere in between? And how are you not buying into limited edition and all that, getting your hands on everything that is unattainable? Catch us on our stories. We'll send out a question and you guys let us know. Are you purgers, hoarders, or somewhere in between like Neen? As always, thanks for listening. You can catch us on YouTube where you can look at our faces and watch, or you can listen to us on Spotify, and you can catch us on Instagram where we'll be chatting it up with you guys. Till then, till our next episode, thanks for listening. With love, S&D.
Bye.
Bye.